with the final game of Squeaky versus Russell. Raichu Crobat versus Donphan. And let's see what we actually get from this. Actually, a little lower than we thought for the hand cam. So let's move that back. Alright. Everything looks good to me. Hopefully everything looks good to you. And here we go. Donphan versus Raichu Bats. Traditionally a pretty bad matchup for Donphan. Anything with Crobat is pretty bad. You're going to have a very hard time getting knockouts, at least on the Crobat side. Raichu is really easy to get knockouts on. And it's the fact of the matter, like, so Donphan can't really miss an energy drop. I think that's one of the big parts of this matchup. Hawlucha is very useless unless it's against Shaman, but even then, you want to hit energy on Fanfees. You want to hit all, like, you want to charge up Wreck. Wreck is the biggest thing to knock out Crobat. And basically, Donphan does struggle against anything with Crobat, but the fact that it's Raichu, there's also just the hands where you knock out Raichus, and they can't really get anything going. Russell doesn't play a Mr. Mime, so the Crobats will be able to like snipe too, which is kind of hard. But he does have an Aegislash, which will be pretty important, I think. Especially since Squeaky only plays the 4 grass energy. So here we go. Here, Russell did get a turn 1 Fanfy, strong energy, and then a tool attached to it. Then we see a Nuzzle Tails. So Hawlucha is not paralyzed. That would have been actually pretty funny. So this Donphan is going to knock out this Pikachu with the DCE. And it's looking pretty bad right now. It's an energy attachment and a main attacker for Josh that's getting knocked out. He does get a Wobbuffet. Wobbuffet will shut off future Shamans if he brings it up. And he can. His hand is pretty well set. Like, his hand's amazing, honestly. Karina is going to get a Fanfy and then most likely a Floatstone. Floatstone's going to go on the Aegislash or the Wobbuffet. And then he's going to Shaman to draw 6 brand new cards. He's going to be able to attach another energy to the Donphan or another energy to the Fanfy. I would choose Donphan because then it's just closer to Wreck, and that's what he goes with. This Donphan's doing 100 damage, 200 to the Pikachu. It's going to be doing 80 to any bat. And he does bring up the Wobbuffet. It does shut off the part of Squeaky's hand that is like Shaman. But he does have Supporter in the discard, so he can Versus Seeker to kind of reset his hand. Alright. So he does get the Golbat, puts 20 on the Donphan. This damage is going to add up. It's definitely not nothing. Like, these 20s and 30s from Golbat and Crobat definitely are going to put pressure on this Donphan. Leafeon's going to be pretty good too, just because there's already 2 energy in play. There's going to be 3 next turn, most likely. Donphan really wants to keep its energy attachments going, wants to build up multiple Donphans, multiple Wrecks. So Leafeon's going to be able to do some pretty big damage. Most likely not the 130 that you want, but it's going to be able to actually one-hit some Donphans with Golbat and Crobat damage. Alright, so he's going to do 40 to the Wobbuffet. It's not really what you want to do. There's 20 on the Donphan. There's another Donphan coming. But this Donphan on the bench is doing 100. It's going to knock out this Leafeon. And it's going to put Josh really behind. I think we could see Josh lose first round twice. Josh's hand isn't really that exciting either. It does have a Skyfield and an energy, but he still needs the Raichu. He's not going to be able to Lysander, bring up the Donphan, and draw into the Raichu next turn unless he top decks the Raichu and has like the Lysander. It's going to be really tough because Donphan's spinning turn just hides back, and he actually chooses to Lysander up the Golbat and knock it out. That's 30. That's saving 30 damage that the Donphan's gonna take. The Leafeon's still only doing 40 right, or yeah, 40 right now because he didn't attach the double colorless. Heads up play by Russell, because now Golbat can come down, but it's only going to be 20 more damage. And as you see, Josh actually drew a Crobat from the deck this turn, so it's really good play. He also had a discarded Golbat early, so there's only one more Golbat, and I'm sure Russell saw that too, and that's why he actually chose to knock out the Golbat. So Josh's hand's pretty lethargic here. He can attach a double colorless to the Pikachu and like play Execute and Skyfield and Versus Seeker for Colress for 9. But he actually decides to attach the VC to Leafeon. Leafeon is going to be able to do 60 base damage, 20 if he flips heads, or 20 more if he flips heads. So if he hits heads, he's going to be able to knock out the Swabafet. And he does get the Pikachu. But I'm not sure what else he really has. He didn't hit the Golbat, which is really tough for him. Does hit the heads on Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade's going to knock out the Wobbuffet. And Russell's going to be able to knock out this Leafeon and start bringing up Aegislash, most likely. This Raichu deck, like I said before, it only plays 4 DCE and 4 Grass Energy. And one thing that's really good for Aegislash is when your opponent only plays 4 basic energies. And the thing with Raichu, it has no energy on it right now, so if he wants to attack next turn, he's going to have to use a double colorless. But here we see Lysander bring up another Zubat. Russell, he's played this matchup hundreds of times, I'm sure of. He knows to go for those bats. Those bats are the worst thing for Donphan to deal with, but when you can get them out early, you have such an easier time. I'm going to be surprised if he actually does choose to bring up the Aegislash. I think he will, yeah. Because the Leafeon has the double colorless on it too, so it's going to be almost impossible for... I think it is impossible for Squeaky to attack this turn. He will be able to Lysander something up and knock it out if he like scoop up Cyclones the Leafeon. But he doesn't have enough bench Pokemon to really do that to anything. He can knock out the Shaman because he has the Bengal on it, but he'll lose his Raichu. I think that's what he's going to go for. He's going to Lysander up the Shaman. Or the... Oh, okay. Maybe he's hoping he doesn't have the fighting energy. It is harder for a Donphan to actually retreat out of the active. You usually see it on the bench and then float stones on other things to retreat. But it's not really active. Like the way Donphan retreats out of the active is spinning turn. I think we will be able to have Russell Karina for a floatstone here though, so it's not going to be too much of a trouble for him. Russell's start this game has been so good. I really don't see a way for him to actually lose. He's just drawn all the right cards all the time. So he's going to retreat, deal 100 with spinning turn, bring up Aegislash or just the Donphan to get knocked out. Yeah, Donphan has a floatstone already. If he has a double colorless, he's going to be able to knock out the Donphan. But it's only one prize. You have 2 prizes left. And you're eyeing down those 2 prizes right now. All right. Let's see if Josh can actually do anything to come back from this game. He drew a Juniper. He has the Versus Seeker for Colress, maybe an N. But he needs a lot, and I don't think he can get it. So the thing about Raichu and like Raichu decks, it's really loses a lot of steam the later the game goes, just because the more Pokemon that get knocked out, the less Pokemon you have to actually bench for Raichu's attack. So here we see he's drawn so many cards, he only has 2 bench Pokemon and no energy. So he's going to retreat to the Zubat, and it's going to get knocked out, and another Donphan's going to get charged up, and it's not going to be good at all. This is definitely a game. I think they're just going through the motions right now. Maybe Russell could mess something up and like deck himself out. But he has so many resources in hand. He has 3 energy and another Muscle Band. Alright, let's see. Yeah, Josh draws an N. And that's it. I don't know what Josh can do. Plays the N, gets the energy. He's going to be able to circle circuit for the first time this game. But, or just attach to the Shaman. Yeah, it's just not good at all. I got a full bench. So I'm guessing he's hoping that he can't knock it out, but he just needs another strong energy. Or, yeah. He does need another strong energy. He can't knock out the Shaman this turn. So he survived 1 turn. Computer search is the 1 card Russell drew off the N. Alright, Donphan's going to do 100 thanks to Fighting Stadium, Muscle Band, and 2 strong energies. Just because the resistance is Shaman. Alright, there's DCE. He's going to be able to bring up the other Shaman, I guess. Versus Seeker for Colress. Oh, he gets his bats back. He did Sacred Ash them back in the deck a few turns ago. So Golbat will be able to put some damage on things. He's going to be able to knock out the active Donphan with Shaman. Bring up the other Shaman. And hope Russell doesn't have anything still. There's certain things you need to do in card games. Basically playing to your outs. If your only out is your opponent having nothing in their hand for the rest of the game while you play your game, that's how you essentially have to try to play and have to try to win. Unfortunately, Russell drew a Lysander, and that's going to be game over. Donphan is going to do so much damage to this Execute. And that's game. And remember, that was game 3. So Russell is going to move on. He will be playing against Ryan, I believe. And those matches will come up a lot quicker. But yeah, see you soon, guys.